Hi, hello. I tried to do all the videos in one day, but I couldn't do it. So good morning. Do you like the outfits? I'm super cold, so had to bundle up. Anyway, today we're going to be going over warranties, which I'm so excited for. So I have it steps 10, 12, 13, 14, 15. And you could probably just put them all together and synthesize it into even less steps, but I have a tendency to forget otherwise, so I always break it down into further steps. So it's totally a personal choice. Now, the first thing you need to ask when you're deciding if this analysis needs to be done or that there could be some type of remedy regarding warranty, the very, very, very first question you have to ask, and it seems very simplistic, is there a warranty? Was there a warranty? And the reason you have to ask this is, if there's not a warranty, then don't waste your time doing the analysis on the warranty at all, because there could be a lot of things that you have to discuss regarding warranties. Now, if you understand the distinction between an express warranty and applied warranty, then when you ask yourself, is there a warranty here, the next sub-question you would ask is that warranty an express or an implied warranty? Now, an express warranty is exactly how it sounds. It's a warranty that is expressly given to you. It's something that's very clearly told to you, very specific about the product in question. So, for example, if I wanted to buy these lovely glasses, and the salesman said, these glasses are specifically made to handle direct sunlight up to 10 minutes at a time, and these glasses are made from a type of material that, when used consistently, can improve your eyesight. That's a very, very specific claim. There's a lot of very, specific things that it was promised, and all of them relate to the glasses themselves regarding the use of the glasses and how it could affect the actual user. Therefore, it would be considered an express warranty. Express warranties are typically things relating to the specific product, and it's an express warranty if it relates to the description of the item, it relates to specific use or purpose or potential benefit. It's something that is very directly connected to the item itself. Now, an applied warranty is exactly how it sounds. An applied warranty doesn't necessarily need to be given, but you would assume that it exists. So if I buy a roasted chicken from a grocery store, the applied warranty that's going to come with that is that it's not rotten. Like, you assume that it's going to be fine. You assume that it's edible. You assume that it's not already rotten or that it has not perished. So that's just an assumption that comes with it. The easiest way to distinguish an express warranty from an implied, I really find, is, would it make sense in this situation that a warranty did accompany this product? The answer is yes, there's probably some type of implied warranty. And if there is no warranty that specifically states, expressly, this is a warranty we're going to be giving to you, doesn't mean that there's not a warranty. It might mean or indicate that the warranty you're dealing with is in fact an implied warranty. So, first question to ask, is there any type of warranty that could apply? If so, is the warranty an express or an implied warranty? Now, sometimes, you don't have enough information yet until you continue in the analysis to really know whether a warranty applies, but just understand the basic concept of there is a warranty and it could be this type, and then continue into analysis can really set you up for a stronger analysis and make sure you don't forget anything. So once you determine that there is or is not a warranty, and if there is one, it's express or implied, the next thing you have to figure out is to determine, and this is only going to apply if it's express warranty, I apologize. If you determine there is a warranty and there's an express warranty, then you have to determine, was it actually created? So you might think that based on the fact pattern that there is an express warranty there, or there might have been one that was created. To better understand whether there is an express warranty, you have to actually do a little bit of analysis to determine if it does, stand up to any type of rigorous claim to from the opposing side. And what does that mean? So if I determine there's a warranty and I think it's an express warranty, my next step in the analysis would be determined if in fact an express warranty was created. Now, how do you know if an express warranty is created? Well, you have to determine, based on what was said, if what was said is known as mere puffery, meaning you're just talking the item up, but there's nothing specific about the description of the item, its purpose, its use, its benefits, its ability to impact other things, its ability to serve you in a very specific way. If there's nothing very specific regarding this warranty promise, then you're most likely not dealing with an express warranty. Express warranties can be kind of confusing because, people can often talk up an item, and sometimes there's a lot of kissing up to this item and how amazing it is because you want to make a sale. And there could be a little bit of, promises attached to that item that you are now assume that you have. And so it's really kind of difficult sometimes to determine which one it is. And so the most important thing is to see what facts are there. And if you're not sure, a good question to ask yourself is, if somebody told me this specific statement, if that statement was not ever said, would that have affected my decision to purchase the item? Would that have affected my interpretation of what that item was going to do for me? Would that have affected what I think or my opinion about this item genuinely, generally? Would this in any way have influenced me to go ahead and purchase this if I was on the fence? Now, the reason that's important is because sometimes it is very nuanced, and you have to really look at the surrounding circumstances as well as the terms and really think hard about what this statement actually does and how impactful it is. Like if someone says, "These are the best glasses ever." Well, they might think that, but do I think that? Like if somebody told me these are the best glasses ever and they were $1 million, if I was not in the market to buy $1 million glasses, would them saying these are the best glasses really have any type of impact on me at all? No. If I was in the market to buy $1 million glasses and I already had an idea of what color, what kind, and all these things, and all they said was these are the best glasses ever, well, I was already going to buy these glasses whether you said that or not. Now, on the other hand, if they say these glasses are made with the best materials on the market at the highest level of quality you could possibly utilize, if they did not say that and I was on the fence, or even if I wasn't on the fence, if I was still in the market for purchasing glasses, that statement, that's on the borderline, because you might think that sounds kind of like puffery, but if you really think about it, that's talking about the product and how it was made. If you're talking about how the product was made and all these amazing things that happened in the processing of making these glasses, it's going to make me think or presume that they're of a higher quality. If something's of a higher quality, I'm going to assume there's a higher level of durability. That's going to help me justify this purchase if it's a little bit more than I anticipated on spending. So therefore, something like that, it's not puffery. That itself would actually arguably be more analogous to an express warranty, because even though it's not about, specifically that product's use, you could argue very easily that this is something that would really affect your decision to purchase it, and anything that affects your ability to purchase something because you have these, subjective thoughts and objective perceptions on something that somebody said, you're going to be more likely dealing with an express warranty, because that is an express statement that you, the buyer, would feel should be warranted because it is a part of the basis of your decision of purchasing something. So if you're ever on the line and you're not sure, argue it that way and say, although I feel this, or although it seems like this is mere puffery, I would have to argue that it's not, and these are the reasons why. And even if you get it wrong, it doesn't really matter, because if you're able to suss that out and you can show this is an arguable topic, that's going to get you a lot of points, because one, what does it show? You know what express warranties are. Two, what does it show? You can show that mere puffery, although it can be an easy slam dunk if it's very opinion based, you can easily show how it can be kind of challenging. And that's what courts grapple with all the time. So showing that analysis is going to really help build a better answer and really help you understand what kind of warranty it is. Now, let's say, we don't know, maybe we're dealing with an express warranty, maybe we're dealing with an implied warranty. Now you're probably wondering, if somebody does give an express warranty, like a salesman at the store, how does that affect me, the buyer, if there's a contract that has a disclaimer of a warranty? Now, disclaimer of a warranty is your ability to, as the seller, better protect yourself and say, I don't want to give you any more guarantees about this thing. Now, as a buyer, what does that do? That limits your rights if something's wrong with this product. They're probably wondering, well, that sounds unfair. It's not, because a seller can disclaim any warranty that they want, and as a buyer, it's your job to read the contract. If you don't like it, don't sign it, right? But with that said, there are rules for disclaimers. I bet you knew that was coming, because I love my rules. So when you're looking at disclaiming a warranty, there's something known as the Magnuson-Moss Act. And you don't have to remember that name, but if you do, it makes you look good, because I know how smart you are, and you look great right now. So the Magnuson-Moss Act, what this is pretty much telling you is, if you want to disclaim a warranty as a seller, you have to do a few things. And the most common one you're going to see is known as making something conspicuous in a contract. So that means if I want to disclaim a warranty against something, I have to make it very stand outish. So if all the contract is in Times New Roman 12.5, it's following the capitalization rules of grammar, and all of a sudden I get to a section that says disclaimer warranties. If it's in the same typeface, the same size, nothing about it really stands out except for the header, because I have headers throughout the document, and the headers are all the same, that's not conspicuous. However, if I get to disclaimer of warranty, and this section is all in bold, underlined, italicized, all in capital letters, there's a space before, extra spaces before the disclaimer and after the disclaimer, and the entire disclaimer itself is made to look completely different than the rest of the document, that's conspicuous. So a lot of times conspicuous language is in all caps, it's in bold, it's underlined, but you don't have to make it bold, underlined, all that stuff, as long as it stands out. So if you have it all, bolded, or if you have it in a separate section that's highlighted, anything that makes it stand out, because really, I don't know if there'd be an essay that would argue that something is or is not conspicuous, but if there was, all you have to do is figure out, is this something that a normal person, if they're going through the contract really quick, just look for the bottom part to sign, would this catch their attention? Would they make them pause and be like, why is this separated? That's really all you need to do. Most commonly, it's in all caps, it's in bold, it's in a separate section. You can do all those things, and if you see that on a fact pattern, you can point out that this warranty is likely valid because under the Magnuson-Moss Act, it needs to be conspicuous, which you can see here because it's bold, in all caps, italicized, highlighted, whatever, right? If it's not any of those things, if it's not something that you would be able to notice that's different from the rest of the document just by glancing at it from a distance, right, then that would fail the conspicuous test. So don't think that conspicuous has to be X, Y, and Z. It doesn't. It's just a matter of if I have the document, I'd say it's a 5-page document, I have them all laid down right here, and if I look like this, do they all look uniform, or is there a section that's screaming at me I'm different? If there's a section that's screaming at you saying I'm different, that's usually enough to prove that it's conspicuous. Now, you can technically disclaim any warranty, but depending on which warranty you're trying to disclaim so that it doesn't apply to you as a seller, there's some different rules. So there's obviously the most common one you hear about is an as-is clause. So an as-is clause is if you go to a really interesting dealership and their cars are not certified, but they say, if you want this car, you buy it as is, meaning there's nothing we are promising about it, you take all risks. There's nothing wrong with an as-is clause, but if you want to have an as-is clause to try to be a catch-all to disclaim these warranties that would be associated with this car, you have to actually have a section in your document, in your contract, that says as-is clause, and it has to be conspicuous in order to disclaim those warranties that might typically accompany something like that. Now, you're going to see a lot more nuance with the other two types, or other three types of warranties, which are express warranties implied warranty of habitability, implied warranty of merchantability, and implied warranty of fitness for a particular purpose. Now, think of it like this. Express warranty and the implied warranty of merchantability, those require a higher level of specification in the contract to disclaim them. Whereas the implied warranty of fitness of a particular purpose does not require as much disclaimer effort, if you will. Now, you don't technically even have to make an implied warranty of fitness for a particular purpose conspicuous. It doesn't clearly state that, but it would be good if you did. Any warranty you disclaim, you should make it in conspicuous language at the very, very, very least in all caps. Now, there is what's called a catch-all warranty disclaimer. It says this contract disclaims all warranties, and that's in all caps. It's conspicuous, but it would not be sufficient to disclaim any warranty with the exception of the implied warranty of fitness for a particular purpose, because that warranty it doesn't have a high level of requirement or specification, so it's very easy to disclaim that warranty. So if you see on a fact pattern something like that, just know the only warranty you could possibly disclaim with that would be the implied warranty of fitness for a particular purpose. If you want to, and that one is not going to be as harsh when it comes to remedies anyway. So think of it like this: the potential remedies that you could get from a warranty, the better they are, the more favorable they are to the buyer, if you will, the more effort as a seller you have to put in to a contract to make sure that they are so well aware that that warranty is not going to apply. Now, that's the easiest way to think about it, because implied warranty of fitness for a particular purpose, that is something you can sue on as a buyer. There are remedies for it, but it's not going to be as grand as the implied warranty of merchantability. And the reason why is the implied warranty of merchantability covers a lot more. It's broad. There's a lot more things that I, as a buyer, can sue on if there's a problem with the product. So with that said, if I, the seller, want to disclaim the implied warranty of merchantability, I have to not only make it in conspicuous language, clear conspicuous language that there's no way it could get lost in the sauce, but I also have to do it by name. That means that I literally have to say, I disclaim, or this contract disclaims any type of suit arising under the implied warranty of merchantability, or I specifically am disclaiming the implied warranty of merchantability, or you buyer, agree that this, by signing this contract, you forfeit all rights to any type of, suit regarding the implied warranty of merchantability. If you do not say those words, implied warranty of merchantability or warranty of merchantability, you cannot disclaim that warranty. So a lot of fact patterns will say, and this disclaims all warranties, including those that are implied. That's not sufficient. You can't say this disclaims all implied warranties. That's not only sufficient for fitness for a particular purpose. If you want to disclaim merchantability warranty, you have to call it out by name. You don't call it out, too bad. You're gonna get sued over it. And that is the biggest caveat to this rule, is it has to be conspicuous, and you have to clearly call it out by name. Now, there's one more that requires more effort, and that's going to be the express warranty. That also requires conspicuous language, but in addition to that, because an express warranty has a tendency to be based on what somebody says, or a particular description in like an advertisement or something like that, in order to disclaim any type of potential warranty claim under statements made or anything of that nature, you have to actually do it with specific language. What does that mean? That means if I warrant expressly as a salesman that these glasses are going to hold up to the sunniest days, including days where it's 110 degrees outside, these glasses will never falter and will have the best protection of your eyes, so much so that you'll notice a difference in your eyesight in the next 5 years. I don't know how much that would hold up, but that sounds like a pretty clear express warranty. To disclaim that warranty, everything I just said as a salesman would have to be in the contract. Something along the lines of inconspicuous language. This contract disclaims all express warranties, including any claim regarding improvement of eyesight, duration of sunlight exposure, amount of sunlight exposure, or any additional protection regarding sunlight exposure and temperature that could potentially have been mentioned or discussed regarding the negotiation of the purchase of this product. Sounds kind of extra, but it is. Because if you're gonna make a claim that you don't intend to, follow up on or actually guarantee, then in order to remove that ability for you to act on that claim, or to have somebody act on that claim as a seller, you have to be very, very, very clear. And so that's how that works. Now, express warranties, I have been talking specifically about how it has to do with what somebody says, because that's the most common. There's lots of different ways that express warranty can come about. But one way that it can come about that might make disclaiming a warranty a little challenging is what's known as express warranty from a sample or model. So if I see this model on the counter somewhere and I start using it and playing with it, and I was like, I'd like to buy that, and they give me a brand new one in a box, I am going to assume that brand new one is exactly like this one in the model or the sample. And in order to disclaim that express warranty, you have to be very, very specific and say any model or sample used with the contemplation of purpose will not be used to interpret that this product was in fact anything similar to the sample model, or we do not guarantee that the sample model is going to be an exact replica or is going to provide the exact same benefits as the product. Something like that. It's you have to be so clear. So just know, express warranties are usually made by salespeople. You can typically say it's from your puffery, but if not, just look at what they said, and you have to literally put what they said in the actual, disclaimer, or you have to disclaim a sample or model. So that's how that works. There are 3 different ones you really gotta look at, right? So just know, Agnes and Moss requires that if it's an as-is clause, you take this as is, and you know that you're taking it with a risk, full risk. The as-is clause must be there, inconspicuous language to disclaim it. You want to disclaim, the more narrow warranty, implied fitness of particular purpose. That's easy, just basic conspicuous language. This contract disclaims all implied warranties. That's enough for that. You want to disclaim merchantability, you gotta call it out by name and be in conspicuous language, express warranty, conspicuous language, and it must be completely specific to what was potentially promised. Yeah. Okay. Doing good? You look like you're doing great. Now, I'm gonna go over the 2 different types of implied warranties because they're just so fun. So implied warranty of merchantability versus implied warranty of fitness for a particular purpose. They're totally different, but they're both implied. What does that mean when you say implied? What that means is you're assuming that based on the product that you're buying, that there's going to be some level of protection associated with it. So when you're looking at the implied warranty of merchantability, for example, hold up. Sorry, I took a little bit of an interlude there. I realized just how much this is going to take for me to explain. So I needed a little bit of a pause. Okay, so implied warranty of merchantability, like I was saying, is a little bit more broad, whereas the implied warranty of fitness for a particular purpose is a lot more narrow. And unfortunately, you're very unlikely to get the fitness for a particular purpose because I think it's just too easy. And you don't usually like to test on easy things. You might get lucky. So I'm actually going to go over the elements regarding the fitness first, just because it is a lot easier. And, it'll help better illustrate the differences, but also it gives us more time to go over the difficult one. So implied warranty of fitness for particular purpose is exactly how it sounds. So is the item fit for the particular purpose for which I, the buyer, am seeking? So fitness for particular purpose is literally based on 3 questions. It's, is this item that I bought, is it fit for my particular purpose as the buyer? Does it actually meet the needs that I anticipated and purchased it for? So if I'm buying a water bottle and I'm buying it to keep my water cold, my particular purpose as a buyer is to have a water bottle that keeps my water cold. That's literally all it is. It's very simplistic, okay? It's, does this product do what I intended it for it to do, which is why I bought it in the first place, which is why I was looking to buy this in the first place. So what's the intention of why I'm buying this item? Okay, what's my particular purpose and the reason why I'm buying my particular need? So the particular purpose, think of it like it's very specific to the buyer's need and desire. It really has nothing to do with the seller's desire and need. It's really all about what the buyer wants, okay? And the second question to ask is whether the seller knew or had reason to know that the buyer was buying an item or in the market for an item for this specific purpose, this particular purpose. So if I go to a water bottle store that only sells water bottles that are plastic and they don't keep water cold, and I just walked into said water bottle store and I walk in and I tell the salesman, and I was like, I really want a water bottle that keeps my water cold for 6 to 8 hours. And he says, yeah, we have lots of water bottles. Here's one, and he sells it to me. Now, would the seller be charged with knowing or should have known? Yes. Why? I literally told him what I needed, what I wanted, what I was in the market to buy. So if the seller knows or has reason to know of why I'm buying something, it's really my why. If they know my why, then they could be held in breach of warranty for selling me a product that I did not anticipate, that I did not want, that I was not trying to purchase. So that's kind of how that works. So the seller knows or has reason to know. Another example of reason to know is if I tell somebody, I go into a jacket store, okay? It's a rugged jacket store, and they have jackets for all types of seasons. And I go in and I say, I'm looking for a jacket to keep me warm. And I'm going to be moving to a place that can get as cold as negative 50 degrees. And I really want it to keep me warm regardless of the temperature outside. That's very clear. That says for a particular purpose. Like the seller would know because I told him. But what if I told him, I'm looking for a jacket to keep me warm? And he says, okay, well, all these jackets keep you warm for this reason, this reason, this reason. I say, yeah, I'm an outdoor enthusiast, and I am thinking about going, to Antarctica. And, so who knows what I'll do, but, I want to make sure I can stay warm regardless. So that's kind of like on the border, right? But that would be like, they have reason to know. Like, they should know that you need a jacket to keep you warm and potentially sub-zero temperatures. But what about a contractor? Say that the guy, goes to a dealership and he wants to buy a big truck because he's a contractor and he builds countertops. He builds stone countertops. Even if the buyer did not say this truck needs to be able to support 200 tons, that's excessive, 2 tons. It wouldn't matter. The seller would be held out to have known, or that they should have known, because if they are a tile contractor and they're in the market to buy a work truck, they should assume, or they should at least know, that it's probably going to require that truck to have the ability to haul lots of material that is heavy. So if the seller knew or should have known, the should have known is really kind of like common sense, which I know isn't super common, but I'm sure you can do it because you're smart, That's not a question. But it's a little bit easier when the buyer tells the seller exactly what he's in the market for and why. Okay? So those 2 things need to be met. But there's a third thing that needs to be met. And that third thing is reliance. So did the buyer rely on the seller's judgment, skill, expertise, or recommendation at all when deciding to officially purchase this item or not? Now that means if I go and I need a truck for work, and I tell them I need a truck for work that can haul tile up to 2 tons on a daily basis. So I told them I had a particular purpose as the buyer, and I told the seller what that particular purpose was, so they knew what my particular purpose was. And based on, their expertise and judgment and recommendation, I bought a Ford 150 2-wheel drive. And it doesn't end up working for me, and it's not able to support my actual business, and the truck is not doing what I needed it to do for a particular purpose. Would they be in breach of that warranty? The answer is yes, because I relied on their recommendation, because they sell trucks all day long, in and out. I assumed that they knew what they were talking about because they have this business. I assumed that the purchase would work for my particular purpose because I told them what I needed, and they told me what I should buy, and I did, right? So it's really quite simple. Usually it's if they recommended something, and it can be based on, as long as you rely on them, then it would apply. Now, if you tell them your particular need, the seller knows your particular need, but you don't ask them for a recommendation, you don't rely on their judgment, you came to the dealership and were like, I need a truck for this reason, this is the truck I want to buy, then there is no applied warranty of particular purpose because you didn't rely on them. You have to rely on their judgment or skill or expertise in some way. If you cannot find reliance, then there is no warranty, okay? I know, right? 3 steps, that's so great. Next to one though, so sorry, applied warranty of merchantability. That one's a little bit more complicated, and it's more broad as well. And remember, it's an applied warranty, so it goes with everything that is sold in the marketplace. That's a warranty that you automatically get regardless of what you're buying, especially if you're buying from a merchant. Actually, I think it's only for a merchant, I apologize. And the reason why it's so broad is because, we want people to, public policy, freedom of contract, we want to support the economy, but we also want to protect buyers to make them feel secure in buying things, and if they don't happen to work out, they still know that they're protected. So an applied warranty of merchantability is going to be a warranty that is specifically connected to the product itself. And the gist of it, and what circles around this warranty, is actually what's called the ordinary purpose. So and you have to remember, is this warranty is for an item based on what the item was made to do, what the item is supposed to do, what it's for. If somebody has some weird, strange, out of this world way they want to use this item, that does not count. That's not the ordinary purpose. If you want to be non-ordinary, that's great for you, but that's not going to apply. Your specific strange use and purpose is not going to apply to this test. It's going to look at the ordinary purpose. So ordinary purpose of this water bottle is to keep water cold. Say it's only to keep water cold. Then the ordinary purpose is to keep water cold. It's very simple. It's very, very easy. What is this product made to do, and is it doing that thing? Okay? It's just that easy. Don't overthink it, right? So when you're looking at the merchantability warranty, you do have to say, okay, does this fit its ordinary purpose? So when you do that, you say, what is its ordinary purpose, and is it doing that? And then you have to ask, if it is doing that, is it then doing it in a way that is safe? Is it abiding by the government and or industry standards for that product? And is it a product that you would say is marketable or usable? So if you're saying, yes, this water bottle holds cold water, it is fit for ordinary purpose, that's not enough on an analysis. On analysis, you have to say, this water bottle is fit for its ordinary purpose. Its ordinary purpose is to keep water cold, and it has a lid, and the metal that lines the inside of the water bottle is safe because it doesn't leach any type of chemicals into the water. Additionally, it has gone through the rigorous standards required by the industry to ensure that there is a lining to prevent any type of leaching if it were to occur. And if this person did not buy this water bottle, I could turn around and sell it to somebody else. And even if it was used, I could turn around and sell it to somebody else because it's marketable and there is a market for it because it is a product that is fit for its ordinary use, and anybody would see that it is a functioning product based on these standards, and somebody would probably buy it. Therefore, it's marketable. Therefore, first prong is met. That's the first prong. It's fit for its ordinary purpose. Second prong. I know, I'm so sorry, it's long. So the second prong is actually not too hard. It's actually easier. So the second prong is just if the item is of average quality, it's for the most basic use with the most basic version of this item, it doesn't do what it's supposed to do, even if the quality's not amazing, but the quality's not crap. Like it's average. Like it could be better, but it does the job. If it does the job, then it fits the average quality requirement. Just because, it's something, you want something to be really nice quality, it doesn't matter. When you are suing on a warranty of merchantability, the court's just going to look, is this at least of average quality? Is it at least doing the basic of what it's supposed to do? If the answer is yes, then you meet that prong. It's really that simple. Now the next one is also very easy, and that one is trade acceptance. And so if in the trade of water bottle selling, like whatever the business is, in that business of where this item is sold, would anyone else in the industry have a problem with this item? Or would they say, yeah, that meets the trade industry standards, that meets, what I do, that seems to be, along the same lines of my business or of my products. So that just means if I'm a baker, for example, and I bake cookies, and I'm not the best baker in the world, but I'm not the worst, and there's other mediocre bakers there too, if they saw my product and they said, yeah, that seems fine, that would satisfy this prong of passing within this industry, within the trade standards, or passing acceptance within the trade. So as long as other people in the trade could objectively look at that and say, yeah, that's fine, then you meet that element. It's really not that hard to meet that element. Now here's another one that's a little harder to understand. It's called run of even kind. Run with even kind, I think it sounds so silly. It really should be called consistent, right? That's really what this is. Run with even kind is based on the amount of products that I make and the quality of products that I make. Say I have 1,000 cookies that I made. All of them are pretty consistent in flavor and texture and moistness, and overall flavor profile, right? If I produce 100 cookies and every single cookie is different, it does not run of an even kind, meaning that I am not a consistent producer of this item. You have to be consistent with the product that you make regarding the quality and quantity. So if you have 1 million of something that you made and like 90% are about of the same quality, then you're fine. So it's really just looking at how much of something you produce and the quality, is that consistent? If the quality is consistent throughout, and you can take 6 random cookies I made, or you can take 6 random water bottles off the shelf of a store from different places, and they're all of about the same quality, regardless of how many you look at. If I look at 6 or 60 or 1 million, and they're all of the average same quality, then it runs of an even kind. The reason this is important is it kind of goes to show that the seller is producing within the standards that they ought to be, and this is another way of looking at whether they are satisfying those standards. Now the next one is label and packaging, and technically it's a 2-step, but you can break it up into, you can put it together as 1 step, or you can break it up into 2. So there's a requirement for sellers in the United States and a lot of other places that the product that you're selling is labeled and packaged a very specific way. And if you do not label and package it in a very specific way, then you have failed to warrant a merchantability based on what you're required to do. So that means if I buy tuna at the store and it has olive oil in it, then the can should say tuna, olive oil under ingredients. If it only has tuna under ingredients, then that would be an example of something that fails the merchantability because the label is not accurately reflecting what it's supposed to. So label and packaging is very specific to the industry. So if you don't see anything in the fact pattern about that specific industry, and it's not like an industry that you would probably know about, but they say something like, and the item was packaged and shipped, and they say nothing else, you'd have to argue this. And you could say, and based on the warranty of merchantability, there is a requirement to be labeled and packaged according to the industry standards for that item. although it does not specify if it was in fact labeled and packaged the way it's supposed to be. It does say it was packaged and shipped, so we can infer that they probably did, in fact, label and package it based on the manufacturing standards that they're required in the industry, because this business has been doing what they've been doing for 6 years. Or you could say, on the alternative, it's not clear that they did follow this procedure. We obviously have a problem, and obviously the buyer was upset, so we could probably find that there may be an issue with label and packaging, but we would need more facts to really determine if that's true. That's how you would handle that one. Now the next one, it goes hand in hand with it, and that's just if it conforms. So if a label on a tuna can says this has tuna and olive oil, and when I open it and it's actually tuna in water, then it would fail this prompt, because the label and packaging is one part. The other part is if the label and package is accurate, if it's true. So the next part is does this product conform to the stated promise or fact on that label or on that packaging? So one is, did you do the label and packaging correctly? And the other one is, does it conform to that label and packaging? Meaning, was it done correctly? Is what they're promising you is inside of this container or on this container, or the benefit that you're going to receive, is that true? Is that actually something that you can prove? Because it's there and it's exactly what you thought it was going to be. So think of the last one as, is it what you thought it was going to be based on what you read on the outside of the container? So if I go to 7-Eleven and I get a hot dog from 7-Eleven, and the packaging says, plain hot dog with a bun. And then I open it and it actually has mustard. Well, clearly it did not conform to the promise on the label, when the promise on the label said that it was plain. Plain is indicative of nothing on top of it, no condiments. Therefore, it would not have conformed to that label. So all you have to think about is there a label or package that's done correctly, and is it true? Like if they lied on the label or packaging, then that's an example of something that has not conformed to the promise. So you gotta just think about the last one is really, it's a promise, it's a fact, and it has to match what is on that label. I feel like I'm running in circles because it's just so similar, but I think you get the difference, right? So that's how applied warranty of merchantability works. Technically, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 factors. I could see you could, put label and packaging and put it together with conformity, making 5 factors. The thing is, though, is the first factor, ordinary purpose, is broken down into 3. But you could probably take those 3 and beef up your analysis if you wanted to keep it at 5 or 6 elements to make it easier. But it is a little bit more difficult. But it's also easier to think about it because it is kind of common sense when you think about when you buy something. If I'm buying a water bottle, I'm buying it to hold water. I assume that I'm not going to be poisoned by lead, right? I assume that it follows any rules that the government has and any industry rules that is required. And I'm also going to assume that if I don't want this water bottle, I could probably turn around and sell it, or I'm going to assume that I can use it for what I want to use it for. And then obviously, depending on how much I pay for it, I'm going to assume that what I paid for it is reflective of the quality, whether that be average or not. And I'm also going to assume that it's valuable for its basic use that I bought it for. And I'm obviously when I buy it, it's probably going to pass trade objection. There's not going to be any problem. Anybody in the industry that sells water bottles, I'm assuming they're going to look at my water bottle and say, yeah, that's fine. And I'm going to assume that their water bottles are of consistent quality because this one, I see so many of them, I see so many people with them, so I'm going to assume that they're all about the same. And also I'm going to assume that any labeling and packaging regarding how long the water can stay cold and how often it has to be cleaned and any issues that could occur with this water bottle, I'm going to assume that what's on the label is true and it conforms to that. And that is the implied warranty of merchantability. So we'll get on to the next few steps after that, but I hope you're having fun. I know I am.